Hi, I'm Julie Connor. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty in both New York and Connecticut. Today I'm going to be talking about lead disclosures, and I'm going to be talking about Connecticut today. And doing and filling out those lead disclosures properly, whether you're a buyer's agent representing buyers or a seller's agent representing sellers, is critically important. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is the lead booklet. Protect your family from lead in your home. You need to make sure that when you're representing buyers that they have been given a copy of this. I email it as well as give them a physical copy of it and tell them to please review it. If they are going to be purchasing a home that's before 1978, they need to make sure that this is filled out properly. We also need to make sure that this disclosure is filled out properly. Unfortunately, you can get about a $10,000 fine if this is not filled out properly. So I'm going to go through each line with you, and we're going to put it up on the screen as well for you. Okay, so it says here, disclosure of information on lead-based paint and or lead-based paint hazards. So first it has the seller's disclosure. So we want to make sure if you're a seller and you're representing the seller, that the seller checks off with a check mark. It has to be a check mark. If there's any known lead-based paint in the house, seller has no knowledge of the paint, and they have to either check that they provided the purchaser with all available records and reports pertaining to lead-based paint. And if so, they put the name of the document. And if they have no records, you would check that they have no records pertaining to lead-based paint or lead-based paint hazards. Okay, so that's the first part of it. For a seller, they will sign the bottom of it, and the seller's agent will also sign the bottom of it. You'll have the address of the property at the bottom of it. Now the buyer gets a copy of this form, and it says purchases acknowledgement. So the first thing on here says purchaser has received copies of all information listed above that the seller has written down. And then purchaser has received the pamphlet, like we talked about, protect your family against lead in your home. And then you have to check off one or the other. You either give them a 10-day opportunity to have a lead-based assessment of the home, an inspection, or they waive their opportunity to conduct a risk assessment inspection of the possibility of lead-based paint. And then the agent acknowledges with the initials. The agent has informed the seller of the seller's obligations under 42 U.S.C. and is aware of his or her responsibility to ensure a compliance. So that is initialed by the seller's agent. You have the buyer's agent sign as well as the seller's agent on the bottom, and the buyers both sign and date. Everybody has to date the fact that they have filled this out properly, they understand, and to the best of their knowledge, everybody's on the same page. Just make sure that the address of the property is listed on here. This form is extremely important. If you have any questions at all and you're not sure, please check and double check it. It's very specific that you're putting checks or initials. And if you have two people putting their initials, two of the purchasers, they need to put their initials side by side on this form. They need to put their complete signatures on the form, not initial at the bottom of the form. So I hope that this information has helped you so that you can fill this form out properly. And if you have any questions, I would recommend asking a seasoned agent who's done this before, or ask your broker. And so I hope this helped you, and thanks for watching. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy the other videos that I have in this series about forms. So please feel free to look at the rest on my YouTube channel. Thank you.